Longlegs. Longlegs. Horror movie or
Episode of
an episode of any crime drama thriller on TV. Uh Starring Nicolas Cage
Boom, boom, boom,
for about
boom.
15 minutes
I've
total, and Micah Monroe from that movie, that another horror movie, It Follows. This was not a horror movie, man. This is
no,
not well,
not a horror
number
movie.
number one. They're also directed by Norman Bates' son.
Oz Perkins.
That's Norman Bates' son.
Mhm.
Is it
Right?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sir Anthony Perkins had a son?
He had a son.
Your kids remember he was married
No.
Yeah, well, he was, and he had kids.
before it came out.
This movie wasn't scary at all. I didn't feel there was any horror elements. It felt. Did you ever watch? Is that a Denis Villeneuve movie? Prisoners? Is that the one with Hugh Jackman and
Yeah.
and Terrence Howard? Felt like this. It felt like that felt like just like tension and thriller. This did not feel horror at all, and Nick Cage played Nick Cage, right? Like
Yeah.
They just what was it, Bowfinger just followed him around with a camera and just like
pretty
A little-
much.
I mean, I thought maybe a little bit more subdued, and he changed his voice.
A little, yeah. I mean, once you have that mask on, once you have that makeup on,
Yeah.
you kind of it's gonna indicate who the
okay, I'm gonna sound crazy
Who-
now. I'm crazy. I'm a cat. No.
but the movie's about kids that go missing, essentially, right? The FBI is following a serial killer
Hmm.
that is played by Nicolas Cage, right? Played by Nicolas Cage, and they're looking into cases of like all these families end up dying, and the little girls, the kids, the little well, yeah, it's mainly girls, right? It's mainly little girls. The little girls that also get affected. It always happens on like
Their birthday's
people
on the 14th.
on the 14th of every month, right? So I'm telling you, it just felt like not even a long form. It's just like a long episode of like the police portion of a Law and Order movie, a Law and Order show.
I was looking for Tutuola the whole time.
Yeah, it needed an iced tea.
Gung, gung.
I know, but like from the beginning, they tried to make this just I can't validate to say this is a horror movie. And
It's not.
anyone who says, "Oh my god, this is a scary movie," it's not a scary movie. There's nothing scary about this movie, and it just
Some people-
seems like a
Some
thriller,
people were saying that like it was the best horror movie in decades.
and it's not.
It's not. No.
Every time a movie comes out like this, there's always people to say, "Oh, this is the best horror." Same thing happened with Midsummer. They're
Weird,
like, "Oh my god,
because
it's the greatest horror."
all I know is I got paid for it.
They were like, "Oh, like when Midsummer came out, I was like, oh, great! It's a great horror movie." That's another one that's not a horror movie. I don't see a traditional horror. It's a different type of horror movie, and then I wouldn't even call them horror movies. They're just
Suspense films.
suspense thrillers, right?
Hmm.
They're just those types of. That's what this movie is.
Well,
that's what.
that's technically what Get Out is too.
Mm-hmm.
But people are like, oh, new
They
king
just-
horror. Yo,
they just kept-
the
they just
dipshit
categorized
Jordan
it.
Peele.
They just
Like-
categorize it as horror, but it's not really a horror
Yeah,
movie.
because a bunch of idiots who don't know how to separate what movies are. It's just they automatically just go horror, action, comedy. There are other genres. You can do suspense thrillers. You can do
This reminded me of do you guys remember the first season of True Detective?
I have no idea what you said. What?
You said something about the first season. Yeah,
It reminded me of the first season of True Detective.
remember. Of course,
know-
I remember. Alexander
reminds me-
Daddario.
My pick for Rogue.
No, of course.
Hold
that's
on.
what
There was
you're
only
saying.
one episode, right? There was only one episode of that.
It's on repeat in my head and everything.
But it had like that whole supernatural thing, but it ends up it's not really a supernatural thing. This is
Mhm.
kind of what this was.
But the thing is, this does have a supernatural element because of
Satan worship.
how he administers, like how Longlegs does this, right? So he creates these dolls that in the doll it possesses the family. And it's a whole Satan worshiping thing, and then that doll possesses the father. The father causes them, like him, to start killing the whole family. That's how it goes.
That's
This
very
movie,
very
this movie,
Amityville Horror, by the way.
this movie. Sorry, spoilers, right? Spoilers, but even the twist that it had. Longlegs had been living in the the FBI agents in Lee's like family home in the
Basement.
basement,
Yeah.
like since they first met, because the mom made an agreement to not kill Lee if she would be the one that would be facilitating everything that he needed. So much so that it's years have passed and she just got used to it.
Yeah, you see,
Uh,
I see my child, so sacrifice the rest.
but I will say, like, the acting was really well done. But the problem is, I have a big issue with the lead actress, Micah Monroe. She sounds like she's 12 years old.
No, Mom. I never said my prayers, never once. They scared me.
But I think it's because she's stuck in that time. Like she doesn't really grow up.
No, her voice tone is like a 12-year-old. She sounds baby
Oh,
dollish.
You mean like how Jodie Foster always sounded like she smoked like 12 packs of cigarettes since she
Yeah,
was a kid?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Exactly the same.
Same thing. Just the opposite spectrum.
It's kind of like, hey, that voice has never changed. You're getting old.
Same thing, but opposite.
Yeah.
But I will say the movie has good actors. It has Blair Underwood. It has Nicolas Cage. In what Nicolas Cage does with what he's given in this movie, it's really well done. I like what he does.
And
Alicia
at
Witt,
the end, I'm gonna be Fu Manchu.
and you have Alicia Witt. This is a small main cast. It's a small main cast. But watching this movie, I'm like, where's the horror? Where am I gonna be scared at? Like, sometimes watching. I'm not gonna say this is a great movie, but it's not a horrible movie either. It's not a bad movie. It's just not a horror movie. It's what people are saying, like, oh, this is one of the greatest horror movies. No, it's not a horror movie. It's a good thriller. It's a good police procedural. It's an FBI procedural movie. It's like, and then there's also like they throw in elements of supernatural in it. Like, so she is Lee like some sort of psychic? Can she, she can solve things? She has some sort of special power. Does that come from the fact that they've been devil worshiping it? When she was growing up, did she start getting those powers?
I feel like it was not that. I think
She just
she was like set up. Like he had already made that plan for her to do. Join the FBI and
FBI. Forrest Gump.
So
then I'll start running.
now that sounds like Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that sounds like Nicolas Cage. There you go.
But yeah, I think it was a setup before. I think he had something to do with her joining the FBI and her being able to solve certain things and to like spread out the whole what he was trying to do.
It's been a plan the whole time.
Like she's in the plan.
Yeah, and at the end of the day,
you get it wrong. She is the plan.
And yeah, because at the end of the day, they just needed to kill one more kid for something to happen, right? For the ritual.
It's always just one more. Just always one more.
Yeah, it's always that, but it's like he needed to take out one more family, so he would create these dolls for the girls, for their birthday. And that's the one thing, like, this movie had supernatural undertones, but the only thing to me that was okay, this could be listed as supernatural, is the fact that when you put the doll in, that possessed the dad, and then the dad went all the shining on the family.
Hey, you know what? This would have been a great origin story for Barbie.
But there's no, but again,
we're like, oh, that's a dark ass movie.
But again, I go back and I say it's not a horror movie. There was nothing horror. There was no horror element. There was nothing that I would constitute a traditional horror movie. This just to me had all the makings of a thriller. That's it. It's all it was, is a thriller. Like the Bone Collector. That's not a horror movie. It's a thriller, right?
I've seen two versions of that movie.
I know you have. Taking Lives with Ethan Hawke and Angelina Jolie. That's another movie.
This just sounds like something else.
Hey, she's in Bone Collector too.
There you go.
Yeah,
See?
I bet she was. No, but yeah, but I wouldn't have categorized this movie in horror. I would have said suspense thriller, something like that. Put it there. But
did you like it?
Did I like the movie? I think if you take it out of being a horror movie, I think it's an okay movie. It's boring in parts.
I'd like it if it wasn't for the fact I had to pay for it. If it was a streamer, this would have been perfect.
I actually enjoyed the movie. I like the slow burn.
I didn't think it was horrible, but
the way the Oz Perkins did his shots, and you see like stuff in the background, but is it?
Almighty, please. Okay.
If you see the background, and it's like, oh, is something gonna happen back there? Like when she's in the kitchen, when she gets that first call in her house, and it's like, oh, is something gonna happen? And nothing happens. But
nothing.
It's like a slow. I thought it was like a slow burn. It kept me. I was enjoying every minute of it. Actually,
it just wasn't a horror movie. That's what I'm gonna say.
It just wasn't a horror movie. Yeah, no.
Because I went in thinking, oh, everyone says it's a horror. It's just gonna be it's a horror movie.
I thought it was about spiders, and no spiders,
no spiders whatsoever. But I will say, like, if this movie didn't have, if I didn't know this was Nicolas Cage, if they would have never spoiled that it was Nicolas Cage until like the credits, I would have been like, oh, I would have been surprised. But the fact that they said it's Nicolas Cage and it's like spoiled that it's Nicolas Cage in all that makeup, in thick makeup, doing like in a really pale face, slower draw. But
well, I was watching something about there is a backstory to him. Like he was like a 80s glam rock musician, and he had plastic surgery, and that's why his face looks like that, like really bad surgery.
Like cat ladies, like the lady that made her face look like a cat. That's what he looked like.
Yeah. Do
I recommend this movie? Yeah, I don't see why I wouldn't recommend this movie. It's not a horrible movie. I enjoyed it. I think and again, because of the slow burn, it was slow in parts. But because it was slow in parts, and I didn't feel it was a horror movie, I think that's the reason why I can't say I'm not gonna say it's the greatest horror movie. It's a good movie. It's not a horror movie, and
no, not a horror.
I think it's a detriment to it to actually say it's a horror movie, because you go in with the mentality thinking it's going to be something, and then it's not.
And I think a lot of people have the same mindset, same kind of thought that I have. It's
well, but a lot of people compare it to like Seven. So
that's another not a horror movie. Is that even categorized in horror?
I thought it was a comedy. What?
But you were in it. You were in it.
No. First of all, I'm still in it.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think at the end of the day,
I'm going through gluttony right now.
I think the cast and the acting really saved the movie. I think the directing is what Oz Perkins did. I think it was good. Did he write the movie too? Yeah. He wrote the movie. Yeah. The idea there, I get it. I see it. I think it's not as a horror movie. I wouldn't rate it the best, but as a normal thriller suspense, I would say it's a good movie. It's a good movie. I just couldn't get 100% behind it because it was just. I'll tell you my story with AMC. By the way, I'll tell you what happened.
But there was too much hype, and that's the problem too.
Yeah.
Like before you even watch it, there's too much hype, and it's like.
But did you
finally watch it, and then it's not what it's.
It's not anything what people, and then anyone will say, "Oh, it's the best horror movie." You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. Yeah. You're out of your mind. Simple. You're out of your mind. You're feeding the hype of this movie. You're just perpetuating lies.
Like this movie, the Blair Witch.
Yeah,
in the Blair Witch, everybody hyped it up so much, like it's the greatest, most original horror out there.
And you finally watch it, and it's garbage.
It's just a bunch of people in the woods camping, and then crying and snotting up. That's all it is.
It's a POV. I've seen other POV movies that are way better. Hardcore Henry. You see Hardcore Henry?
Came out after.
Still, I've seen better.
All the POVs I've seen. Chef's kiss, bro. Chef's kiss. No, there's a whole series, involving
chef's kissing. But I would say if you're interested in like crime procedurals, like police, like FBI type movies where they're searching for the bad guy, I would say watch this movie definitely. If you're going in thinking this is going to be a horror, like a traditional horror movie, and I think that's one of the things that I have a problem with movies nowadays is that, especially horror movies, when they're advertised as a horror movie and they're not a horror movie. Like again, Midsummer. I go back to that because I went in thinking, oh, this is going to be some crazy horror movie, and it's not a horror movie at all. Right? It's another one that's not a horror movie. It's more psychological. Was it bad? No, but it's not a horror movie. Kind of throws me out. But this is just one of those movies that, because of the hype, like you said, because of the hype, didn't live up to what I thought was going to be good. I thought it could have been a good horror movie. Hey, this movie was made for under 10 million and it's made over 76 million dollars already. But I do know a lot of people that didn't think this was a horror movie, didn't say the same thing. It's not a bad movie, and I think it's saved for me. It's saved because of the cast. Because Blair Underwood's Blair Underwood. He's good. Nicolas Cage is Nicolas Cage. They got good people to play the parts that are in the movie. But ultimately, yeah, I don't think it's not a horror movie, but it's not a bad movie.
I agree. It reminds me of did you ever watch Pig?
No.
Yeah. I told you. So I know. Oh, that's right. Sorry, my bad. We talked off camera. Sorry. So Pig, I went into it thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a John Wick kind of thing. No, it was harsh, but it wasn't like he's going out there killing people. He's just going through everything because he wants his pig back, because it's a truffle pig, man. You know,
and it's a good movie, and it's got really Nicolas Cage.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
I haven't seen it. One day I'll watch it. On that note, let us know. Did you watch Longlegs? Did you like it? Was it? Did you guys enjoy it? I mean, am I completely off base? Is this the best horror movie you ever seen in your life? Let us know in the comments. Oz loves to read all the comments.
I do, and I read them way too much, and apparently, I get carpal tunnel.
That wasn't so you can respond to that. On that note, this has been Vinny.
This is Ozzy.
Anna.
We'll see you guys next time.
Give me a truffle pig.